Hello and welcome to part 2 of this fuel tank video. So you may have noticed the first part was a bit dull and a bit all over the place, let's just say. That video was actually very difficult to edit, and because I had no idea what I was doing when I was putting back the fuel tank, I actually had to lift it back up and down 5 times. So, part 2 is no different from that. Yes, so all you're going to see in this video is just the fitting of the final bits, but the major difference is the quality of the image. So, between the recording of the first part and the recording of the second part, I had the car painted. And I also got an upgrade in the equipment. So, I hope you enjoy this. And hopefully it's a little bit better than the previous video. So, let's just roll in the movie. Well, before I started doing anything else, I just cleaned as much of the sand that I could. So there was plenty of sand in this particular area of the car because I was sandblasting other areas and sand just gets everywhere really. So after cleaning all of this, I then picked up my brand new seal for the fuel filler part of the fuel tank. And you'll see that in a couple of seconds, and then I just try to fit it. So there's this seal here that I was replacing with a new one, as you've seen, and I can't fully install it because the fuel tank is not completely aligned. I'm going to have to leave that for some other time. I need plenty of time for it, so I'm not going to do that in front of the camera. So I'm going to move on and install everything else, and then I will get back to fixing that once the camera is not recording, so I have more space. As it turned out, I really couldn't leave that for later, and I had to do it straight away. Okay. Hopefully I can get a video of that. Fit it properly. We'll switch off Mark Offler so that this video doesn't get banned or something, and I'm gonna fit this fuel hose. I've cleaned the fuel hose. You probably saw it in a previous image. If you haven't, well, that's because I've edited out. So fit this in, tighten that, and then start putting everything back together. Right, that seems to be fitted. So what I'm gonna do now is line up this again and pull up the fuel tank so that the seal is there and everything is aligned. I'm going to switch off the camera for that, and we'll get back to fit the rest of the hose. Now, unfortunately, I kind of need to reposition the camera a little bit lower to get a good view of this. So let's see what we can do about that. I think that's as good as we're gonna get. So I'm gonna put this one over there from that side. This is the drainage pipe, which clearly doesn't get far enough, and I'm actually have to reroute that. So let's just see how we can what we can do about this. So this is the hose for the fuel connection. This here is the return valve that needs to plug in there, or no, it's definitely not there, so it's in there. So there is a bigger pipe which it's over here. This is the one that connects in here or there, yeah, that end, and then the other end goes in there. Now there's some siding to this. I need to align these holes with the holes from there, which forces me to install it either in this direction or in this direction. So I just need to find out which direction is the most suitable direction for this. I need to loosen that clip a little bit in order to fit it. I need to loosen that one a little bit. And the final thing is this one, which I am not quite sure why it's got this odd shape. But I'm kind of guessing that it needs to spin around to connect over there like this. Yeah, so here we have it. All parts connected. Now it's just a matter of securing the hoses with the clips. Okay, and here's something else that is not related to the fuel system, but it's in the area, which is the drain pipe for the fuel area. So what I have is I drilled a new hole in the chassis. Well, I didn't drill a new hole, this was already here when I bought the car. I've enlarged the current hole and I got a new pipe, and what I'm going to do is just, instead of routing through using the pipe that always gets clogged, which is this one here, which you can just barely see in the screen, I have a thicker pipe, a much wider pipe, so that dirt can flow through it as well, because dirt always builds up, and I'm using the same pipe nozzle. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is to fit in this bracket here. Now, there is a problem with the holes and the bracket itself, which is they don't actually align. And that got worse as I have added riv nuts in there instead of using the rubber nuts. So rubber nuts have a bit of give, and then things would kind of twist and move about. So what I've done is I fitted riv nuts because I trust riv nuts more than rubber nuts. I've had issues with rubber nuts on this car. Everywhere there's a rubber nut. So I've replaced every single one with a riv nut. So I've enlarged these holes, and what I'm going to do is just put my M6 stainless steel bolts, just using some washers to push everything down. So by enlarging the holes I increase my chances of things lining up, which they're not quite perfect yet, but they're close. That one is a problem because of the space. I don't really have space for anything to go in there. So what I'm going to do is not put a bolt there, and I'm just going to put these three with washers. Right, the next thing that I'm going to do is to put the rubber backing on the inner side of the fuel pipe. Then I need to align this so that the holes are aligned. And now the final bit is the metal bracket that backs it up, which needs to go in this direction because of those cuts. They need to go like this. Here's the other one, let's see if it aligns or not. If it doesn't align, it means I need to rotate the whole thing. Now I just need to give it a bit of a squeeze. And this ain't going anywhere. Now the whole car is shaking. So, final thing that I'm going to fit is the moving bracket for this. This is again another part that I have treated with Amerite. So it lines up like this, if I'm lucky. And again, I have new stainless steel fasteners for it. I may want to use a bigger washer on the opposite side. That depends on how much space I have available, and I don't have much space available, so I don't really have a choice. The only thing missing now is just to put a bit of polyurethane adhesive here so that this won't leak. And the final thing before I screw the cap back in it's just to put the fuel cover. Right, so that was the fuel tank. Not much to say apart from what's already been said. As I'm recording this right now, I've not actually done the editing of the video yet, but I can give you a sneak peek of what the car looks like, but there will be a full video on that when I've finished. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you learned a thing or two, and I will see you in the next one.